Hi, Mr. Cleese. I'm a huge fan. I
Are
love
you?
Cat
Oh,
Race, Fish Called Wanda are one of my favorite movies. I always
good.
laugh so hard. And
Ah,
now you play Mr. Bridewell in Clifford. Why do you think the red dog are so appealing to the audience?
I don't know. I don't understand anything anymore, Renato, and I've never understood American taste. For example, I never understood why proper adults were so fascinated by comic books. And I had never heard of Clifford the Big Red Doll, but I hadn't heard of Charlotte's Web either, or a number of these children books that are so popular. The main reason I did this film is that I will always work with Jordan Kerner if I can. He's an extraordinarily nice man, and he knows what he's doing, which is extraordinarily rare. And he's the only producer I know who occasionally gives me acting notes, which are always spot on. So I have great respect for him. I've done a couple of things for him before. I did the voice of the ape in George in the Jungle, and I did a voice, I think it was a sheep in Charlotte's Web. But I would always work with him, and he put a very nice team of people together. And I thought it was a rather sweet movie, because usually I don't play particularly sympathetic characters, because unsympathetic characters are a lot funnier than nice ones. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Você pode não acreditar, mas existe magia em todos os lugares.
And how challenging for you is to act with an existing dog because the dog was added on post-production? Is it challenge? How did they guide you to look to Clifford?
Well, when I played him early on, when I'm sitting on the car park bench, we had a little sort of soft toy in the right size, and it was red, and it was a soft toy, and it was reasonably heavy. So I handled that, and then they replaced it in post-production. But the rest of the time, it's it's okay. They just tell you, look in this direction, and you just imagine it. It's not difficult. I mean, I know when Bob Hoskins did that movie about Jessica Rabbit. Do you remember that? I can't
I
remember.
love that movie.
Love that movie. He found it very depressing in the long time that he was always there on his own. There was no other sort of actor to talk to. But I certainly didn't experience those problems on Clifford, because I got on very well with Jack Whitehall and Darcy, who's a very mature young lady, quite startlingly so.
Eu queria que a gente fosse grande e que não pudessem machucar a gente.
Thank you, Mr. Cleese. I love your job. I love Monty Python.
Good. Tell me something. Do they show Monty Python in Brazil?
Yes, it's
They
very
do.
iconic here. I used to love the sense of humor of Monty Python. It's a huge thing here in Brazil, and we don't see that kind of humor anymore. It was so pure and naive, and I love that kind of humor. I hope someday we get some great screenwriters like you to give us back that kind of humor.
I know, it just seems to have gone missing, doesn't it? You know, what I call silly humor. They don't do it anymore.
I used to love the humor.
Good. I'm delighted. I'm delighted.